Hey there, lovely souls. Welcome to my channel, Magnetize Official. This video and reading will still include an energy update, but it's going to have a bit of a different vibe. It'll be more free-flowing, especially at the start. Here's why. Usually, when I prepare for these readings, there's not much coming through until I actually hit record. But today, during my meditation before starting, I received this huge download of information that feels really relevant for many of you in this beautiful collective. I want to weave some of that into the reading, but don't worry, I'll still be pulling cards as we go along. As I always say, we're co-creators here on this channel. If you'd like to co-create with me, you can start by tuning your energy into this space, and wow, a card just flew out as I started shuffling. By the way, it happened right at 2:22 on the recording timer. I'm not sure how that'll line up in the final video, but that felt so synchronistic. So much is already coming through energetically. By subscribing, you help me pick up on your energy more easily, which often allows me to channel messages that are more specific to you. I just want to say how grateful I am for each of you who are part of this beautiful, uplifting, high vibrational community. The energy is so strong, it's even tripping up my words a bit. Thank you for being here, and let's dive into the reading. Okay, a card just flew out that I'm excited to share. Door to value in the upright position. I really feel this energy connected to the heart chakra. It seems like someone is starting to see another person in love from a fresh perspective. Specifically, I'm sensing that a masculine energy is viewing you, divine feminine, in a new light because his heart has been opening up. Even if you're not aware of it, this masculine has been feeling a lot of emotions lately. And while he might not have shared this with you directly, I'm getting that you, divine feminine, have been picking up on his feelings at an unconscious level. The main blockage this masculine is working through is centered in the sacral chakra. With the thinking man sitting there, it shows these two energies are really facing off. The thinking man symbolizes the ego, while the sacral chakra is all about intimacy, vulnerability, and transparency. I'm hearing this masculine express, "I can't hide from you, divine feminine," and that scares me. But on a deeper, spiritual level, I can no longer hide from myself. If I can't hide from myself anymore, I'm losing the ability to hide from the world too. Divine feminine, you've ignited a powerful spiritual transformation within this masculine. I'm eager to explore how he's starting to recognize your true value. With the victory card showing up in the upright position, it signals that he's experiencing some incredible growth right now. There's a significant positive shift happening within him, but it seems to be unfolding a bit secretly, behind the scenes. So, what's driving this rapid change in him? The solar plexus chakra card appears in reverse, indicating that this shift was triggered by a hit to his confidence, or perhaps a loss of a part of his earthly identity. This experience is helping him see through the illusions of the 3D world more clearly. While he's definitely focused on this connection, it's been a huge theme for him lately. This transformation is about more than just you. I sense he's reevaluating his values in life overall, which is truly profound. With the solar plexus chakra reversed and the anxiety card upright, it's clear that this masculine has experienced a significant loss, something he closely tied to his sense of identity. For some of you, this might relate to a job or a connection. But for many, it specifically involves his twin flame bond with his divine feminine counterpart, which is undergoing a notable shift. As the divine feminine steps into her power, a card just flew out, all tied up in the midway position. This indicates that the situation surrounding his twin flame connection is changing rapidly. What was once stagnant and stuck is now transforming quickly. I'm hearing him express a sense of feeling uncontrollable. It's like he realizes he can no longer dictate this person or situation. But on a deeper level, this loss of control is revealing a truth to him, an illusion he held onto for so long. He's coming to understand that he never truly had control over this connection. Now, through this awakening, he's recognizing, with the door to spirit reversed, how much he has been ignoring his intuition about you, divine feminine, and the depth of this connection. With the angel of love reversed, he's starting to see just how much he blocked an unconditionally loving connection, ultimately sabotaging what he desired most. I hear him expressing, "All I have ever wanted in my life is to be fully loved." It feels like this masculine may not have received that unconditional love in his childhood, leading him to learn about conditional love instead. This dynamic has impacted how he's treated his divine feminine counterpart in this connection. But now, he's experiencing a lot of realizations. Now, let's dive into the divine feminine energy, because what prompted me to start this reading a bit earlier than usual, typically I would record after taking more time to meditate and clear my energy, was the powerful downloads that came through for you, divine feminine. It felt urgent to capture this energy right away, so let's infuse that into your part of the reading. Divine feminines. While some of these insights may resonate with our beautiful, awakened divine masculines who are tuning in, I feel this message will primarily connect with the divine feminines in our collective. You might notice that these pieces of information reflect what you've been receiving, both consciously and subconsciously, from your guides and the universe, especially regarding timelines and the changes occurring in your connections, whether they're platonic or romantic. This includes even those acquaintances and co-working relationships that may be on the periphery of your social circle. There's a shift happening in many of your connections. For some, this will be most evident in love, particularly for those of you who are out there dating again after a deep, intense connection with a high-level soulmate or twin flame from whom you've recently separated. So, take this message as it resonates for you. And for those still navigating a soul-based connection in the 3D realm, you may find these insights apply more to your platonic relationships and friendships. The key theme that's coming through is untethered. Divine feminine. You've been spiritually untethered from a specific timeline due to your awakening. For many of you, this energetic release happened years ago, as you've been on a lengthy journey of spiritual growth in this lifetime. So, while this concept might not be new to you, there's a fresh shift occurring lately concerning your timeline. Let's take a moment to set the context. This untethering kicked off at your spiritual awakening. For many of you, I'd say at least 60 to 70%, this process was ignited or accelerated by a twin flame connection or interaction that played a significant role in your awakening and untethering. My guides have shown me that before your awakening, you were like a light body standing on a path, with countless paths above and below you, each representing different timelines. A timeline is essentially your journey through this life. So, if you've ever had a psychic reading or consulted someone with gifts about your future, they're really looking at the potential futures based on your current trajectory. Wow, for some of you, this might resonate as a download you've been receiving. I want to address a specific divine feminine here. Perhaps you've sought psychic readings over the past few months or even years from various gifted readers. If this is you, I know it can be confusing, because even though these psychics have incredible abilities, their readings often differ, especially when it comes to predictions about your love life. For those of you this applies to, here's what you need to understand. The The reason these predictions keep shifting and why it feels so confusing is tied to a dynamic I want to explain further. Your energy is in a constant state of flux. Your vibration is rising so quickly that you're moving through numerous timelines at an incredible pace. When a reader connects with your energy, they might tap into a specific timeline and give insights based on that. But as you continue to elevate your vibration and set new intentions, you shift onto a higher path. So, when you return for another reading, it may feel entirely different. It's not about one reading being right and the other wrong. Rather, all these readings reflect potential futures that are changing as you elevate your energy. I'm not sure who needed to hear that, but I trust it resonates with a few of you. Now, let's return to the concept of timelines. Many of you became untethered from a particular timeline months or even years ago. And for a lot of you, this experience was connected to your twin flame. You may already know this, but I feel your guides urging you to really anchor this understanding within yourself. Doing so will help you find stability during what can feel like an energetically chaotic and confusing time. When you meet your twin flame, they resonate with your core soul frequency, meaning they're connected to you across all timelines and dimensions. While I was meditating, I sensed my guides wanted me to title this video something like, "The one who follows you through every timeline has a message for you." This idea applies not just to twin flames, but also to soulmates. When I refer to a soul-based connection, I'm generally talking about those deep bonds founded on shared core soul resonance. To clarify the difference, your twin flame is the only soul that mirrors your identical core soul frequency. It's a truly unique connection. In contrast, soulmates share a similar soul frequency, but it's not quite the same. Both types of relationships, though, have that special resonance at the soul level, allowing them to accompany you through various timelines. Think about couples who stay together for 40 to 50 years. Many of you might relate this to your grandparents' relationship. You can see that they were soulmates, even if they didn't consciously experience a spiritual awakening in this lifetime. I'm getting the vibe of unconscious soulmates here. People who may not have fully awakened, but still navigate slight shifts in their timelines throughout life. Now, here's the thing. Most people who don't experience a spiritual awakening will go through a few significant timeline shifts throughout their lives. These typically happen during moments of crisis, times when your 3D reality pushes you to say, "I need to change something." Once you make that change, you shift onto a new timeline and often stay there for quite a while. Then, years later, you might find yourself facing another crisis that prompts yet another shift. The key difference between these unconscious timeline shifts, usually occurring 2 or 3 times in a lifetime, and the past, where many experienced just one major change, often labelled a midlife crisis, is quite striking. This moment usually hits in your 40s, 50s, or even 60s. Although time and age are just illusions, humans tend to call it a midlife crisis when someone realizes they want to make a change. They become aware that they're on a timeline they no longer resonate with, take action to shift into a new one, sometimes in a way that seems radical to others, and then settle into this new timeline for a while. You may have noticed a trend lately, especially among those in their 20s and 30s. More people are experiencing what's being called a quarter-life crisis. Instead of waiting until their 40s, 50s, or 60s to have those significant timeline shifts, many are facing these pivotal moments at a much younger age. In fact, for even younger generations, this realization is hitting during middle school, high school, or early adulthood. What's fascinating is that even those who are living a bit unconsciously are going through these crisis moments. We're reaching a tipping point in collective consciousness, and as more people awaken, even those who are still largely immersed in the matrix start to feel a stirring within them, metaphorically speaking. They may not be fully aware yet, but they're beginning to wake up to a new way of seeing the world. Let's circle back to the key points here. There's so much important information to unpack, especially for those tuning in. So, what's going on with our twin flames? And how do they differ from soulmates? With soulmates, even when you're navigating life in the 3D realm, there's a greater chance you'll stick together compared to karmic connections, which lack that deeper soul resonance. Most people go through 1 or 2, sometimes even 3, significant timeline shifts in their lives. These shifts can lead to disconnections from romantic partners who no longer align with our evolving selves, which is why many experience divorces during what we often label a midlife crisis. That earlier relationship may have only thrived on a lower timeline that no longer serves them. Now, here's where things get interesting on our spiritual awakening journey. It's almost like we're experiencing a midlife or quarter-life crisis, regardless of our actual age. We hit these pivotal moments frequently because, unlike those living unconsciously, we're actively raising our vibration. This ongoing process allows us to continually ascend to our highest timeline, which is such a beautiful and transformative experience. It opens the door to incredible soul growth and development that many souls may not encounter in hundreds of lifetimes. That said, this journey can be quite challenging because our human side often becomes attached to these different timelines. This attachment might manifest as a deep bond with specific people or relationships that only thrive on a particular timeline. For those of you in the dating scene, this is especially relevant. When we transition from a soul-based connection, like a twin flame that resonates deeply with our core, into the casual dating world, it can feel really tough to forge long-term connections with new romantic partners. This creates a frustrating cycle. We're elevating our vibrations rapidly, but these new connections don't seem to keep up. It's like we might share a profound bond with someone one day when we're aligned on a certain timeline. But as we continue to raise our frequency and shift into new timelines, we often find ourselves feeling emotionally detached or sensing a change in energy between us and that person. What we're really experiencing is the fact that we've elevated our energy and moved onto a new timeline, and unfortunately, that person isn't joining us on this journey. This concept is really at the heart of all karmic connections. What happens here, and why these connections often turn toxic, is that they become 3D relationships we prioritize over our own soul's growth and evolution. Essentially, these connections are based on a bond with someone at a specific level, frequency, or timeline trajectory. When we start to raise our frequency and shift into a new timeline, we naturally begin to phase out of these 3D connections. Ideally, this transition would happen smoothly, but often our human side clings to these people, situations, or relationships out of fear of losing them. On some level, we might find ourselves valuing the stability of that connection more than our own growth and transformation. It takes a lot of surrendering to navigate this challenge. We're trying to balance the human part of us that craves strong attachments to people and relationships with our soul's desire to grow, expand, and evolve. This can be quite a struggle, especially during our awakening process. This is why, during our spiritual awakenings, it can feel like everything in our current relationships, yes, even friendships, starts to unravel. What you're really experiencing is your ascent to a new high vibrational timeline. For you, divine feminine, represented by the goddess of the moon and blossoming abundance, this shift is happening constantly. It's no wonder you sometimes feel chaotic or disjointed and frustrated when trying to make new friendships or romantic connections in more 3D situations. Your soul is now calling for those who will journey with you through time and space. Whether platonically or romantically, those who truly resonate with your core will follow you into every new phase and timeline. I'm strongly picking up on a divine masculine or a high-level soulmate who has been with you through these transitions. For some of you, this following may feel more unconscious. You might sense this person's energy lingering around you, unable to let go, no matter how many timelines you move through. Because the bond you share runs deep. For others, with the Magician in the mirror and appreciation cards coming into play, this could indicate a twin flame connection that is beginning to find its balance. I see you. As you continue to rise into higher versions of yourself, you're aligning more closely with this person. For some of you, this connection with the masculine might not be unconscious at all. It could be someone you've interacted with consciously in the 3D world. However, if that's the case, I sense that with victory reversed, many of you have experienced moments of feeling hopeless or defeated in this connection. There may have been disagreements about work, money, or finances, as indicated by the financial constraints card. Or perhaps you felt emotionally or energetically stifled, leading to painful cycles of heartbreak with this masculine in the past. But here's the beautiful news. With the broken heart card reversed, there's a profound healing and transformation occurring within this connection. I'm hearing that the cycles of heartbreak are coming to an end because you, divine feminine, have chosen to embrace your power. As we wrap up this reading, I'm going to draw one final card from the Rumi Oracle, and it is the Sacred Phoenix Heart. I say, of course, because this card recently appeared in another reading. It symbolizes something profound. I'm sensing a resurgence, something coming back to life or rising from the ashes. This could relate to a connection you thought was dormant or even dead, where someone felt hopeless or defeated. Yet here we are, witnessing something powerful emerging from that place of despair. Let me share a bit from the guidebook. Under the cover of blood, love veils many rose gardens. In total faith, love tenderly guides every lover to the garden of the heart. Reason says the world is limited in 6 directions. Love says, there is a way, and I have travelled it many times. The guidebook goes on to say, love guides us through challenges that seem improbable, if not impossible. You are encouraged to accept the closed doors, the endings, and the pain. Let it become fuel for your fire. This resonates deeply with those old connections and situations you're closing out. Sometimes we refer to this as collapsing timelines, having the courage to let go of what no longer serves you so you can rise into who you're meant to become. I feel this message is especially significant for the divine feminine at this moment. Click the join button to explore the membership options and see what exciting benefits await you. By joining, you'll get exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and special access to our community. It's a fantastic way to support the channel and get even more out of your experience with us. If this video resonated with you and you crave more, interact with the content. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel, Magnetize Official. Share these words with anyone who might find comfort and inspiration.